What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to talk about pursuit in this game. If you've ran a pursuit drill, you know what those cones mean. And one of the things you do in pursuit drills is have the player run outside the field. So Marlon Mack would essentially be outside, and then obviously you would learn to pursue to those cones working outside in. A lot of times this is done by position. We're going to take a look at the defensive line in just a second. But the focusing points are, number one, controlling depth as you're going upfield, and number two, not running into each other as you're pursuing out. So when you take a look at this slowed down, just looking at the linemen, I understand some people are going to say, well, they're engaged and that's fine, but once they break that engagement, they need to be pursuing upfield, and a lot of times you can see right there, they just run straight upfield in a pursuit jog, which, to some people may be okay, but when you look at other positions, say like the linebacker, where, you're going to have 3 or 4, and you can kind of vary how this goes. When you look at the secondary, sometimes you have a control player, like maybe your safety, that's always going to pursue maybe completely as deep as possible, in this case, to the edge of the end zone for the video's sake. When you see how this starts, you can tell right away they aren't pursuing as a team. The corner and the safety, in fact, run together right here. And I think that just goes to show you some of the poor logic and programming that goes into this game. You've got the right side players collapsing in on the play from inside out. And then you've got the players on the left-hand side that are running upfield, but they're running in line with the player where he is, as opposed to adjusting as to where he's going to be. And this is one of the simplest fundamental forms of teaching football, is not running in a straight line like you see that linebacker as he goes over to make the tackle, because you're giving up all that space. So if we take a look at the side here and we just focus on the corner and the safety, I'll leave the cones there, but think about those pursuit angles we just talked about. Whether you're pursuing out the back of the end zone or not doesn't really matter. One of the things this game does in terms of difficulty levels that you may not be aware of is it freezes the player by having them run in place. So watch very carefully the corner and the safety as this play starts. At speed, this is almost unnoticeable, but one of the ways this game makes it easier or harder for you is by having your players freeze on the field by jogging in place at full speed just momentarily. So when the ball is snapped, you can see both of these players, especially the safety, kind of go through a little run here, and that little run holds them long enough to give me more of an edge to the corner where I can essentially score. Now, as far as the pursuit goes, like we just talked about, the last thing you want to do is slow your own pursuit by running together. They should be running to separate points. That little bump that they just had also factors into the area that the halfback has to get open. And as we obviously go pursuing away from the play, you can see just overall the pursuit in this game is not programmed well. When we look at still images, removing the angles and the cones, we can now have a better understanding of what these players are supposed to be doing. So when you look at the initial formation and then you see as they pursue, it's a group of players that are not doing the same thing. They're not pursuing as a team. And when you look at the safety in the corner, again, running together, that creates essentially the complete opposite side of the play, what amounts to the touchdown being given up. When you look at this continue to go forward, you see the players pursuing down are really running in line, as opposed to where Marlon Mack is running at an angle. And this is really what gives the depth perception a defense has wrong. Their helmets right now are almost straight onto the sideline. They should be like Mack's is, up pointing toward the end zone. So when you watch this one final time, I really think if EA wants to promote, especially like they have with their invitational simulation football competitive gamers, they have to take a real hard look at the fundamentals of this game and make sure that they get them right. Having players run in place to make the game easier, having players that can't pursue upfield to make the game harder, whatever it is and however you want to project it, it's not properly done the way football is done. And that's one of the first things they have to focus on, in my opinion. Back to basics, get the game pursuit right, and then work from there. This is one of the simplest things that they can program and make better. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. I will be back in the week with more commentary.